Hey guys, so I wanted to shoot this video to discuss with you what is wrong with our current financial system. The current system that exists right now for Americans when it comes to learning about money, learning how to manage your money, and then learning about how to invest and grow your money. You see, I believe there is a huge gap that exists where the middle class is. If you earn more than like $70,000 a year, but you don't have $1 million net worth, that is the group of people who are neglected the most. And we're going to go into sort of a breakdown in this video about what it is that's really wrong with the system and how you can still take charge of your finances with the system that exists. So what's wrong with the current financial system? Well, let's break it down. There's two major issues, right? The first issue is that most people do not get the right financial education. You don't learn it in school, you don't learn it from your parents, you don't have a mentor who's really wealthy who's teaching you all this stuff. So unless you yourself go out of your way and pay money for the knowledge, you are only getting surface level information. If you researched for days and days and days on all the free stuff available, you can have an idea of what's going on, but how consistent is the data, right? So number one is that you're not getting the right financial education if you're getting any education at all. And then number two, when you hire a financial professional, and that could be anyone from a financial advisor, an accountant, a lawyer, an insurance agent, all of these people, they already expect you as the client to know how to manage your money. They expect you to know what is in your best interest regarding your money. So how can you hire a professional that's supposed to help you understand your finances when they already expect you to have your finances under control, right? So a financial advisor focuses on funds under management, right? They don't look at your total net worth. So here's an example. You sit with a financial professional, you go through a whole wealth building plan. Of course, it only focuses on assets in the stock market. But he says, okay, if you put $800 a month away, you can retire with a $2.5 million account balance. Wow, that's amazing. What do you need any other professional for? Here's the caveat in this particular situation. The individual, in order to put the $800 away every month, was going $400 into debt every month in order to make that happen. So what was happening? As the net worth was growing, so were the liabilities and debt. Financial advisor is not concerned with your money management system. They're not concerned with whether or not you are overpaying for your living expenses. They are not concerned with you maximizing the use of your income. They don't evaluate your taxes. They don't look at what you're actually putting your money into, other than when they have the funds managed. If you lose your job, is the first person you call your financial advisor to get help? If you get a raise or a bonus, what do you think your financial advisor is going to tell you to do with that money? Right? Would you even ask them if you got a $10,000 bonus? Is that the first person you'd call to say, hey, what should I do with this money? I can almost guarantee the answer is going to be, stick it in your funds. So what about a mortgage broker? That's a financial professional that you definitely need to interact with at some point, especially if you are going to get into real estate. Even if you're just going to buy your own home, right? Well, what do you think the mortgage broker's concern is? You think they are worried about whether or not the house is too expensive for you? Are you buying too much of a house too early in your life and it doesn't make sense as far as your long-term planning? Your mortgage broker is not going to look at that. They're going to see if they can find you the best rate for the most money that you can borrow. My mortgage broker has multiple times told me how much available credit I have that I can continue purchasing real estate with. Now, that's a good thing, but only if I know what I'm doing. If I have other financial knowledge to make the best use of that person's knowledge when it comes to mortgages. Well, what about a real estate agent? Well, a real estate agent is an amazing professional to have on your team, but their goal, their incentive is to sell houses. To sell houses. That's how they make money. The higher the cost of the house, the more money they make. So of course they can advise you and they can help you and they're going to work with you, and I would highly recommend you use one. But when it comes to your wealth building plan, they're just going to try to get you the biggest house that you can afford. And what does it mean by afford? Does it mean, hey, although you're putting $800 away to your investments, and although your living expenses are this, are you living within the right margins? Does this house purchase make sense to your overall wealth building plan? And does financial freedom even come into the equation at any point? In my experience so far, it has not. It is up to you as the consumer to figure this information out before moving forward. Because you know what? The financial advisor is going to try to get as much money from you into the investments as possible. Your mortgage broker is going to try to get you to borrow the most amount of money that your budget will allow. Your real estate investor is going to try to find you the biggest house for your money and see how far that money can go. So who else is left? You have your insurance agents. Well, we all know we need insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance. Those are all hedges. They hedge your loss in case of an emergency. So we know insurance is necessary, but is the insurance agent's goal your betterment, your well-being, your financial freedom, and helping you build wealth? Or is their goal to sell you a product, an insurance product? I mean, how do you even know if you need the insurance product? And then there are insurance agents that want to tie your insurance product to an investment. And then you can get extra bad returns from following that route. Extra bad returns. So if that's the only people that you've gotten advice from, know that the information you receive from them has a bias in it. Let's look at the last professional. Your accountant. They're focused on helping you save money on your taxes in the current year. So, let's use some examples where their advice may have a conflict of interest with your long-term financial goals. When it comes to retirement savings, do you know how many accountants I have had recommend invest in your traditional retirement accounts so that you can save taxes this year and use that money to do whatever, build wealth or whatever? Because they don't go into the details of that because they are not investment professionals. Yet, I would rather pay my taxes now on a small percentage of money than to pay taxes later on 100% of the fund. Because if you've watched any of my content before, you know that if you invest in a Roth, all of the growth is tax-free. Now, will the accountant know about this? Sure, but is their motivation on your long-term wealth building? Maybe, maybe not. How well have you communicated your financial goals to them? And what about this? Mortgage interest for real estate investors. I've heard accountants multiple times recommend keeping your mortgages. Having mortgages is good because it helps lower your tax liability. Well, sure, but I don't need a tax credit versus having my house paid for and then pocketing all the cash. I'd rather have the cash and pay a little bit of taxes on it than to pay the bank a ton of interest and then writing off a percentage of the interest payment. A percentage, a small percentage. Is it really even worth the savings? Now, using the debt instrument in a way to move your wealth forward is progressive thinking. Having that tax benefit adds to your wealth building overall, that compounding snowball. But that is not the end all be all. The goal is to have paid for real estate that cash flows your life. The goal is to have investments in the stock market to raise your net worth. But it's all about hedging your losses, right? Hedging your losses, because imagine if all of your money was invested in the stock market. You've been doing amazing, and then you're planning to retire in the year 2009. Well, guess what? The majority of people lost over 40% of their investment portfolios. 40%. That's almost half. So, if you've done all your financial planning and your only avenue for investments and advice has been from your financial advisor, and you're getting ready to retire in 2009, and then you lose 40% of your portfolio, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think your financial advisor is going to advise you to do? Well, the market dropped, so you need to hold on and wait until it comes back up. And of course, it did. It did come back up. And if you would have kept your money in at this point in 2020, 10 years later, you would have doubled your money. You would have got your money back. But you had to wait 10 years, and it's at a point in which you were already getting ready to retire. So it's important to understand diversification of assets, not just your specific investments within the stock market. So that brings me to my biggest question for you, okay? Understanding everything that I just explained to you, right? What financial professional exists that does not make money from selling you a financial product, right? And who is out there that can actually provide you with in-depth financial education regarding your entire financial life? From, that includes understanding your money management system and where your money is actually going to, and then being able to maximize your wealth. Maximize the money coming in and putting it in the right investment places. Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you get to financial freedom. The sooner you do that, the sooner you start putting the money in the right place, the sooner you can start building wealth. The sooner you start doing that with your money, you maximize your current income. You maximize your current income, the more money you have to invest later, and you're able to build your ideal lifestyle way sooner. Where do you want to live? Do you feel like living where you're at forever, or are you only stuck where you're living because of work? Could you move to the middle of the country and own 20 acres of land and just be out there on your own, living off your assets? It would cost you way less than in some of the cities. Or perhaps you want to be in the city and you want to have an expensive luxury lifestyle. It takes intentional action. Intentional action with your finances to actually execute the right plan. To not only put your money to work for you, but to build your lifestyle, to track it, to see, man, it's one thing if my financial advisor says you'll retire with $2 million. It's another thing when you talk to someone who says, let's get those $2 million 10 years before retirement? What can we do to get that sooner? Let's get that here faster so that you can actually do what you love to do. Live the life that you want. Design the lifestyle of your dreams. So what financial professional exists that can make all of that into a reality? It comes down to your financial coach. The financial coach is the financial professional that can help you do that. And it's like this. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of his time, right? He had a coach. He had a coach that was not as good as he was, but who understood the fundamentals of the game. That coach was able to watch Michael Jordan and evaluate his current strategy, his current practicing techniques, his current moves, and he was able to critique and help him to exponentially grow, right? And that's why the financial coach is so powerful, because if you are someone who makes decent money, but you don't have $1 million net worth, you're not going to get the right information. You're not going to have someone who can, in detail, help you break through that wealth gap. Because once you have $1 million, once you have $1 million in investments, everyone and their mother will help you. Everyone. You can get into hedge funds finally. You can get into a hedge fund where the person who's running the hedge fund, they only make money if they make you money. And if I'm a wealthy person, that seems like the route to go, right? Because I have a lot of money and I don't want someone who's going to get paid even if they lose me money. Because that's your financial advisor. They will get paid regardless if you lost 40% of your portfolio. They're going to get paid regardless. So if you're paying someone a flat fee, you're to get specific advice about all areas of your finances, that is the person who is going to have your best interests at heart. That's the person who's not going to be focused on selling you financial products. That person's going to be with you along the journey, so that if you get a bonus, you can disperse it into your wealth building plan appropriately. You can use it to get the financial freedom that you desire quicker. How many years would an extra $100 take off of your retirement date? An extra $500, an extra $1,000. Guys, this is the question to ask yourself. How long do you want it to take for you to become a millionaire? How long? Because the number that your financial advisor gives you, your financial coach can help you beat it. So even if you decide that I may not be the right financial coach for you, I urge you to look to getting a financial coach. Look to getting someone who can help you with your current financial situation and maximize the use of your income. Maximize your income. If you haven't seen my video on income, income is your number one asset. And that is the key to building long-term generational wealth, is putting your money to work for you. So I hope you're inspired by this video to take action. I would love to be your financial coach and love to have you in the Maximize Your Wealth Financial Coaching Program. If you would like more information, or if you would just like a little bit of direction with your own finances, I'm currently doing free financial coaching strategy sessions. Completely free, no obligation, where we can jump on a phone call together and sort of dive through your current situation. We could see first and foremost if the program is even a good fit for you. Are you in a place financially where the program makes sense? And if not, that's fine too, because I would love to at least give you some clearer direction on what's next in your current financial situation. What are your next steps? How can you start making changes so that you can build your ideal lifestyle, reach financial freedom before retirement age, and build generational wealth so that you can leave a family legacy. So I'm going to put the link in this video. I hope you guys take action and overcome your fears of investing your money. Overcome that fear and just take that first step and reach out to a financial coach who will always have your best interest at heart.